Okay. Hi everyone. So Lele here, and I'm from the social media team of the Career for You. And today we did several live streaming, and today we want more to share with you some very important information about BSCF because we are here with the Vice Chairman Martin Bednar.
Hello.
We are in Dell offices today because Martin is also the VP in Dell, right? And so I'm very happy you're here. We had Paul Bird a couple of months ago. We
Yeah.
were talking about BSCF and the industry, but I would like also to know. And one thing we didn't talk about was also the role of the vice chairman, right? So what is the vice chairman and what are you doing?
Okay. So BSCF as a shared service forum, we actually started it 4 years ago when we basically realized that probably all the problems which we have and all the things which we are trying to solve locally as Dell, there are other similar companies on the market which are probably trying to do the same. Work with government, work with schools.
Mm.
Kind of trying to figure out the PR of our industry. So we actually put together kind of the big companies in the similar industry and started to talk. And actually, myself, Paul, and Gabriel basically established ourselves as a leadership team.
Mm-hmm.
For me, originally, I was not sure how it's gonna work because at this, like on one hand, we are actually competitors in many areas in the business, but we are also competitors in the same labor market.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, well, is it gonna work? Will people be open and so on? But actually, what I see is above and beyond my expectations. Everybody in the shared service forum is very open. We all want to do the same thing. We all want our industry to prosper. We want our education to improve. We want our government to support us. So all our interests are the same.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we are working together is just great. And so what do we do? We really have three main areas: education, government relations, and PR or
Mm-hmm.
social media. And we are basically on a regular basis, uh, you know, basically defining what we want to achieve in all these three
Mm-hmm.
areas, creating the plans, putting people, teams together to work on it and make progress. So actually, we have an annual conference, we have a quarterly meetings, and we actually then have a leadership meeting a couple of times a quarter as well,
Mm-hmm.
where we
So
discuss
you
like
you
what
meet all the
yeah,
various
myself,
leaders of
yeah,
companies.
myself, Paul, and Gabriel from AT&T. We meet on a monthly basis
Okay.
to kind of help our forum to progress and define priorities and so on. So, and as I said, in 4 years, I think we really achieved a lot. 4 years ago, probably people thought that shared services are some kind of a low-end
Yeah.
workers factories, but by now everybody knows it's one of the best industries you can work for with great career. So I think it's also on the education side, we have a lot of great connections with the universities, and on the government side, we actually helped our government to pass some legislations which are supporting the shared service forum as a
Mm-hmm.
strategic sector, and also we were able to get some really strong advocates for our industry,
Mm-hmm.
in the government circle. So I think it's great. So we're gonna continue with that for sure.
So the cool part here is like one is it's an industry that has thousands and thousands of employees, right?
Hmm.
So the important thing is when students are finishing the universities, like where do I go, right?
Yeah.
What is the possibility of job? And what we say is this is a good industry where to start, right?
I think it's the best industry to
And
go.
why is it that? What's
If you think about it, if like I think students should go somewhere where they can have a lifelong career.
mm-hmm.
I think students decide at the end of the school like what they're gonna do, and I think they're thinking about some small local company
Mm-hmm.
or some international company, but the local branch. Like some big company, but some
Yeah.
Slovak business of that company. So I think, and then they are deciding some big international company
Mm-hmm.
like we are. So I think these small companies usually give you a lot of responsibility pretty quickly, but then within a couple of years, that's all the responsibility you can get because there is no more responsibility to have in a small company.
Yeah.
You are director in 2, 3, 4 years, and you are the smartest person because there is nobody else uh, uh, there. You probably have a little team, but you basically hit the ceiling really quickly in those
Okay.
companies. Comparing to big international companies, you come there, you probably get some relatively narrow responsibility to start with, but you get a lot of opportunities to progress. You get a lot of opportunities to learn. You have always really smart people around you where you can basically learn from them all the time. Also, you can try different things. If you're not sure what you actually want to do, you can try, accounting, logistics, planning, tax, and uh, you can take time to figure out what is actually what you like to do.
And I think also this is a very useful thing. Like even if you not, I'm not sure how many people effectively have a totally clear idea when they finish the
Yeah,
studies. So
yeah,
to have the opportunity to learn a new job and learn more of this kind of jobs
exactly.
every maybe 2 or 3 4 years, you can have 4 different positions.
Yeah,
Then it's something that gives you an additional
I think a lot
opportunity
of
to
our
know about
companies
yourself.
have literally like excellent graduate programs
Yeah,
which are actually really focused on, hey, come in every 6 months, you have a different
yeah,
job, you get a ton of learning experience, and then in 2 or 3 years you can figure out what you actually want to do. So I think also the culture in, I think,
cool.
big international companies is very different than culture in some smaller companies or local companies. Uh, it's incomparable, and I would say last thing which is really, for me, the most important is that lifelong learning and
Mm-hmm.
lifelong career.
Yeah.
I think it's really useful to go to the company where you can see yourself staying for 20, 30 years. And I know it doesn't look like, very realistic when you're joining the company. Am I really going to stay there for so long? I joined Dell 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think I'm going to stay here 15 years. But I'm here, and I think I'm gonna stay for another 10 years at least, because I know that I like it. I see myself progressing.
Yeah.
So I think going to the company where in 3 years you will achieve the highest job in the company and there is nowhere to go, it's not very smart idea. Or go to the company where in a couple of years you know that you'll have to leave because there is nothing else for you to grow into.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's much smarter to go to the company which can offer you lifelong career. So
And talking about also your particular experience, so you told me 15 years in Dell, and when I asked you, what is your role, you told me my role is partly in Slovakia, but I'm actually have not a Slovak role only, so you are like a window outside the world, so you can, part of your influence is not here locally, so that is actually one of the benefits of
yeah,
these places, like where you is not a local
exactly.
little place, you can
I,
expand at some
I
point,
think
right,
it's
and collaborate.
actually, and my role, just one of the roles. We have many roles like that in Dell, but I'm sure it's the same in other companies. So actually, the roles which we have here are, we have in Dell we have like more than 2,000 people in this building.
Mm-hmm.
Probably less than 50 have anything to do with Slovakia.
Yeah.
All what we do is either support Europe or support some global roles. So, which I think is really interesting because if you're working for a Slovak company, or even if you're working for international company but
Yeah.
Slovak branch, you are usually some kind of rounding error, in some spreadsheet. But when you are working for big international company, even if you are not in the headquarters location, like the importance of the locations like Bratislava for Dell or for IBM or for Lenovo is actually comparable to their headquarter location.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of roles which are here are global roles. In Dell, we don't really ask ourselves, where, actually, I believe that the roles which you can do from Bratislava, there are more opportunities in Bratislava than anywhere else in Europe for Dell. And the roles which you can do from here, you cannot do them from London or Berlin or
Because
Madrid,
that's the
because
place
this is
where
this is the
things
place
happen. Yeah.
where you can do EMEA roles, but you can do global roles as well. We don't really ask ourselves anymore, uh, or we don't limit ourselves that roles are tied to Austin, where is our headquarters.
Yeah.
We basically, if we have somebody strong to do the job, and it's in Bratislava, then we give the role to Bratislava.
Okay.
So I think it's awesome.
Tell me something about you and when did you join, or what's like some milestones of your career, right? To understand the variety and what you experienced.
So as I said, I'm in Dell for 15 years, and I went from the very beginning. When I joined, I was one of the first people on finance in Dell, and we didn't have a big plan to become. Right now, we have 700 finance people here in this building. So, and at the time when I joined, it was a couple of us, and there was no clear plan to get to 700. We just wanted to do something well. So, and we put together a small team of people and to support our German business, and then we realized that we are really able to do it from here, from Bratislava, supporting the German business. So then we said, okay, let's try to support European business. So, a couple of years later, we did the planning and analysis for Europe, and then in the meantime, I would say our European CFO realized that there is a lot of great talent in Bratislava, people who can deliver excellent results, and who can not just do things, but I would say come up with the new solutions. Like be creative, own things end to end. So really, Bratislava became like the main location for finance people in Europe. And then I would say as the technology progressed and as the world evolved, we actually realized that we don't need to limit ourselves to just Europe, and that we can do global things from anywhere. So what I do now, I'm responsible for planning for client solutions, which is basically $40 billion business. So half of the company, all the planning is done by my team. I have a team which is about 80 people, which is spread across the globe, but about 30, 40 people sitting here.
Okay.
So what we do here is relevant for absolutely all Dell in the world. So the plan for our company for next year, for half of the company, we are doing here. We talk to our CFO, we talk to our vice chairman, we talk to our business leaders about how to do the plan, how to what does it mean on regional level, on the product level, and so on and so on. So it's really my job can be done from anywhere. Probably in most companies, my job would be sitting in the headquarters, but in Dell we don't limit ourselves with that. Wherever we have the right people to do it,
we can, and also, I mean, nowadays we can collaborate across borders.
Exactly. So the tech, like probably 10 years ago, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. Also,
But
live stream,
right
we
now,
couldn't be able to
right
do
now,
it
it's possible. So really, the opportunities are limitless, and that's great.
And I think that if you are a student, right, if you want, for example, you're a student in, I don't know, in an economics university, so like a business school, you want to perhaps have a great business career. So you want to meet with the best people that are dealing with business. So these are the biggest companies in the world, like Dell included, IBM, AT&T, and so on. So there are several big companies. So if you are working in finance in one of these big companies, in the place where things happen, you actually learn exactly what potentially you wanted to learn.
I'm like really. Sometimes I'm really just surprised that I went to normal school somewhere in the middle of Slovakia in my high school. I came to University of Economics, so no special education, I would say, and with the way we evolved, I'm doing the role which is really big global role from here. So the fact that I can do it from my home location is just amazing. But it's true, like we are talking every day to the biggest leaders in the industry, and not just me, but my teams and so on. So I think it's a great opportunity if you don't want to limit yourself with Slovakia. Well, just work for the big company who can give you the global roles at home, and the learning which you can get is just unbelievable. Just sitting down with our CFO is a great learning experience, and we have the opportunity to do that very often.
And also, I mean, I think you get the best of breed of what is the future technologies as well. Like not only that, but I would say many companies, and we will actually see that into the BSCF yearly conference where we talk about the future. That you can actually see, there are the links. I will put the links in the description. But this is talking about, okay, what is coming, what are the next technologies, like we talk about, artificial intelligence perhaps, or the next of computing, the next part of blockchain and whatever. So all these kind of topics are discussed here. So students that are joining as a newcomer will be able as well to enter into these company learning programs, right? So that where we keep
And like
learning.
just when we're talking about students, like and graduate programs, so we have graduate programs, but then also opportunities to work internationally, then to go and decide, okay, I want to work a couple of years in Latin America.
Ah, yeah.
Well, no issue, I can go and do it, or I want to relocate permanently to US. We did it so many times, but as I said, like if you want like great role, you don't have to relocate anywhere. You can do it from here. So I think whatever you want, that you can get, and working with really smart people who have like best schools, best experience, and you work with them in the same team and partner with them and learn from them. So it's really
So
good.
final call to action to our students. So why to follow our group to get more information, but also why to be interested in BSCF
I think
industry.
guys like just don't even think about going anywhere else. The companies which are like the big international companies have a great culture, great, I would say, great path for anybody. Even if you just finish the school, just come in and you can stay there for 15, 20 years. Or even for people who are already experienced and somehow hitting the ceiling in their company and there is nowhere to go. Like we have great roles for everybody. And as I said, uh, I'm here for 15 years. There are so many people in this building who are here for 15, 14, 13 years because they all like it and they would like and they see their career they can continue and progress further. So I really believe we are the best industry, and I'm really happy that in Slovakia the environment is so good and we continue to evolve and continue to grow. So
Cool. So thank you all for watching. Message is there is a career for you here.
big time.
So keep following or commenting in case of any questions. We will see each other for other live streaming throughout this month, and then on the Mikuláš Day, so on the 6th of December, there will be the conference that we will live stream as well on this channel. So stay in touch. That's why you need to follow it and like it, because
Cool.
you will get more information.